Hey guys, what's up? It's Tommy here. I wanted to talk to you about something that's really near and dear to my heart and very important for you to know. Now, it's gonna be a bit of a video, but you really need to hear me out on this. This is something that's important. I do try to explain this when I'm writing down the programs for you guys, but I feel like I am way better at verbal explanations than I am at written explanations. So just bear with me. We're going to talk about the 5 major principles of muscle building, right? I am pretty sure that if you follow me on my Instagram or Facebook, you're following me because you want to build muscle, right? Because most of my stuff that I post is me working out and doing just that, right? So I started physically my fitness journey. The first time that I ever cut weight, I was really like 118 pounds. It's horrible, right? And I promised myself when I cut that weight and I got to 118 pounds, I used to be almost 200 pounds, but I was at 40% body fat. And I promised myself that I would get back to 200, right? But I would be all muscle. And now it took me a very long time to do it, but here I am, and now I'm over 200 with pretty much all muscle, right? So these are the principles of weight training that I have found to be the most effective, okay? You must create time under tension, okay? Back in the day when I started training and didn't really know what I was doing, I would just go through the motions. And once it got hard and I started feeling the burn, I would just go faster, right? And then I learned to not do that, okay? I learned that it was better for me to move not too slow, maybe 3-second count and then up fast, 3-second count, all right? To not rush to the set, to try to control the weight as best I can. Now, when you get to the heavier parts of the exercise, like when you're in that 5 rep range, that 6 rep range and below, that happens automatically. You don't have to be so cognizant of that, But when you're in the 8, the 12, the 15s, those rep ranges, you have to move a little slower if your goal is hypertrophy. Another thing that I learned, and that I think it's a principle of hypertrophy, is learning to lead with the muscle that I'm working with. So what does that mean? That means that if I am doing a chest exercise, right? For example, a bench press, a push-up, doesn't matter what I'm doing. I set myself up, and before I even start the exercise, I tense that muscle nice and hard, and then I start. So that makes sure that I'm working the appropriate muscle, and it gets that good mind-muscle connection going, okay? So time under tension and getting the appropriate muscle to flex or to contract before I start the exercise. Next principle of hypertrophy is that I must have enough volume, okay? Volume really comes out into sets. How many sets are you doing? Okay, if you are a beginner, like you never touched the weight, you only need about 2 to 3 working sets, right? Once you get more advanced, you might need a little bit more. So you'll see like 2 to 3 warm-up sets and then maybe 2 to 3 working sets. Compared, that would be 6 sets in total. You do need the appropriate volume, okay? Now, another thing that you're definitely going to need is intensity. Yeah, intensity. So the intensity is probably one of the most important parts, all right? Because although it's not good to take every set to failure, right, to true failure where you really can't do one more rep no matter what you do, it is necessary to challenge the muscle enough that at the rep range that you're trying to get to, okay, you actually can do no more. And if you have a buddy with you, then you can have him assist you with 2 to 3 reps to get some extra reps out. Those are called force reps. But intensity, in my opinion, trumps everything. I'm going to give you an example of intensity, okay? If you have not seen Dorian Yates Blood and Guts. It's for free on YouTube. Watch that video. All right. So Dorian Yates was the Mr. Olympia of the 90s. He only trained 4 days a week for no more than an hour, while the rest of the Olympians at that time were doing 2 and 3 hour workouts. Right. If you watch that man train, from the moment he starts to the moment he finishes, he's intense. The whole thing is intense. It's high intensity like training. So that's why I say intensity trumps everything. The downside to intensity is that you can't always run the car at 1,000 miles an hour, right? Honestly, Dorian Yates is an anomaly. I'm just giving him as an example. You can't do that all the time. But at least 2 to 3 workouts, like put your headphones on, tell everybody to leave the hell alone, turn off the notifications and whatever you gotta do, and just go into a dark space and put it all on the line. You know, if you have squats for the day and you're looking at the weight in the squat bar and that freaking weight's kind of intimidating you, you're on the right path. You know, it's kind of like when you get the, oh man, can I do this? That's basically what we need to do. We need to work to a point where you're really pushing yourself, okay? So intensity trumps everything. So what do we got so far? We got time and attention, we got volume, we have intensity, now we need frequency, okay? So there's been a recent study done by a man called Brad Schoenfeld that he has done some mega analysis of certain different type of tests that they did for people with hypertrophy, and he found that volume and frequency are important. I am not a lover of full body workouts, but they do have their place and they do help get the frequency involved. I am more of I'll go to the gym twice a day if I have to type person, or I'll do one body part for a month, 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, so in some of your programs, I may have you doing legs very often because I want you to get nice, strong legs. Also, legs are great burners. They bring up the hormones in the body. I may have you do chest twice a week because you want a bigger chest. I may have you do back twice a week, you know, because who doesn't want a bigger back? Bigger back equals smaller waist. Shoulders twice a week, and we might do that for a month. And the next month I'd be like, okay, shoulders no more twice a week. We'll do back twice a week, and then screw it. Let's just say your legs are a really bad lagging part. We'll do your legs 3 times a week. So you get what I'm saying? All right. Now we're gonna do that no more from 4 to 6 weeks, because after the 4 to 6 weeks, you're gonna need recovery. You're gonna let that body part recover completely from the workout, and so therefore you stop doing that. So now what do we have? The principles are time and attention, value, we have intensity, we have frequency, and then we have recovery. Okay, recovery is the most important part, right? Because if you can't recover from your workouts, you're not going to grow. All right, so if you're hitting everything great, you're eating 6 to 8 times a day, you're drinking your water, you're eating your meals, your protein in all your meals, you're having your vegetables, and you're getting adequate sleep, all right, then you should experience hypertrophy, all right? You should experience some muscle growth. It does take time to do this, okay? So you can lose up to 2 pounds of fat in a week, really, if you're like dieting hard. But you can only gain about 1/4 to 3/4 of muscle in a week. So you have to be patient with the process, and you have to fall in love with the process, because the results come slowly. All right, so apply those principles that I just told you about to your own training, to your programs. Even if you're doing an at-home program, it's still applicable. You still need volume, you still need frequency, you still need intensity, you still need time under tension, you need all those things, you need recovery. So if you apply all those things, you will see really good results. As you know, I'm always here for questions. You guys can text me. I'm available to you. I believe in you, and have a great day.